Welcome back to GearWire.com, and this is my video on the Andromeda from Alesis regarding the sequencer and arpeggiator. If you couldn't tell from my little bit of analog wankery there at the beginning of the video. In this video I'm going to take a look at not only D minor, the saddest of all chords, but progressing with chords throughout the arpeggiator and setting different patterns within the sequencer so that when you play it back, it reacts to not only middle C, but other notes you play. So for example, you can set up your sequence with middle C as the root and have other keys within that sequence and it'll react. So if I set a sequence, for example, and I play middle C, select another patch just to even get something a little more clear. There we go. But then I play up. So we're going to see how that's done. Let's go in closer for a better look at how this works. The arpeggiator and the sequencer on the Andromeda are really pretty cool. We have the arpeggiator here and the sequencer here. Right now I have the sequencer on, set to view so I can see all the settings over my LCD screen, and I control the tempo right here. Or I can sync it if I want to the rest of the clock. Now, you'll see I can take it as far up as I want, or I can take it very, very slow. Looking at the arpeggiator without this, you'll hear a distinct difference in how it plays back the sounds. Moving over to my LCD screen, let's take a look at how to program each of these independently. So you'll notice that some of the arpeggio patterns aren't exactly the best in the world, but the reason for that is this thing is fully editable. You go to length here, open up the length. We can also take the octave up. Change up the center. Change the type of arpeggio, so like we can do a forward one. Reverse. And random different types. We can also change up the chord pattern here so we can add automatic chords. Basically, it'll let you still play the chord and the arpeggio will play on top of that. So you'll see if I turn it off, it just plays the arpeggio. Turn it on, we get the chord and an arpeggio. I also have what's called latch, which allows me to just hit one key or one chord and let it keep going for a while. No hands. You can also assign the run over here by hitting the button. To change up the sync, here I've got it at a quarter note. It was at a 16th note before. The way I did that was I'm in the arpeggiator edit mode and I go on my lower keys here and I hit sync. Be careful because you don't want to hit this, you want to use this knob. See, we have quarter triplets here. I'm going to take it backwards so it's faster. You can switch up the latch as well so that this can run full time. But here you'll see we also have progressive. This determines the number of cycles in progression. Let's go back to the arpeggiator. We can determine the trigger as well, the type of trigger triggering this. Right now it's a stopped ARP, so I can actually turn it back to run, turn latch on, turn the cord on and off. Again, we can switch up the type of pattern, change the center, change the octave, the length, over here, change the location, the local BPM, and I can change the master BPM over at the main control. Now, with the sequencer, we have a slightly different option here. Great. So we'll bring up the view for the sequencer. Right here you'll see we don't have any notes yet. It's just straight across. But it has A, B, C, D, E. It's really kind of bizarre how it's laid out because unlike a lot of ones you might be used to where it has like the number of the measure or the note, we're provided just with where it's at in the alphabet, which is interesting. It gets a little confusing when you get to the notes, but each note is marked down here. The first one's C0. I can take the second one and put it all the way up. So we could do like if you want to do like a early 2000s electro clash type line, you could do like an up and down type of deal. The trick I find though is getting these to actually stay where you want them. I'm sure there's some shortcut to this that I haven't learned yet. All right, so let's say we get more of an industrial or acidy bass line. In this case, I found an industrial kind of sounding one. So if I select the sequencer view, go into here, and I can actually change these up at random. Go to my next step. You'll see it goes to I, J, K, and L. And you'll see those notes start to pop up over on the other side. And I can go forward again. So now it's going to create kind of a bizarre pattern, but you get the idea. Well, that was a pretty basic overview of the sequencer and arpeggiator. Again, I've only had a little bit of time with the synthesizer, but I'm sure if you own it, or if you have a friend who owns one, you can sit down and program way more interesting sequences or arpeggiator patterns than I did. This is basically how it sounds and how to use it. For more information on the synth, check out gearwire.com and search for Andromeda or Alesis Andromeda, and you'll find plenty of videos that I've done on this synth. For now, though, this is gearwire.com, and my name is Bill Holland.